Hi again, Year 11. This is lesson 2 of week 1 and builds on what we did yesterday. Obviously, you'll be doing these lessons in a different sequence, depending on which class you are. But here we go for lesson 2. So we're looking at what hurts and how long it's been hurting for. And to start off with, please, I'd like you to do this exercise. Now, sometimes I will be doing Zoom registrations for lessons, but this one I would like you please to, because I'm going to be in school this morning, this is talking on Wednesday morning, so this is for 11C. 11C, I want you to do this starter please as quickly as you can and then submit it so that I can see that you're in the lesson. There won't be a Zoom registration today for you. Classes, it may be a Zoom. Okay, so my foot hurts, my eyes have hurt since yesterday, and so on. Look back at your notes from yesterday's lesson and then complete this as quickly as you can, please, and submit it so that I can see that you're in the lesson. Okay, as before, I'm going to let you pause the video for as long as you need to, and then we'll correct it. So assuming you've now done the work, you should have my foot hurts. It's singular, so it's me duele el pie. Número 2, my eyes have hurt since yesterday. So we had since yesterday is desde ayer, and it's me duelen los ojos. My legs have hurt for 3 days. Me duelen las piernas desde hace 3 días. Remember there you've got the difference between desde followed by a point in time. Desde hace is followed by a period of time. We'll look at that again in a minute. Me duele el estómago desde hace una hora. My stomach's been hurting for an hour. Me siento mal desde hace una semana. I felt ill for a week. I felt bad for a week. Okay, so again, of course, you can pause this, you can write things down, you can go back and look at it again. So just make sure you do that to make sure you've understood everything and everything is written in your books. Okay, so that was the starter and you've submitted that, so I know you're in the lesson. Learning outcomes we saw yesterday, and we're still looking at the understand bit at the top at the moment, and then we are going to do some reading and listening later. So we saw yesterday, desde hace cuánto tiempo. Now, desde hace is used with, for example, 3 días, for 3 days, 2 horas, for 2 days, desde hace una semana, for a week. So desde hace is used with a period of time, so 3 days, 2 hours, a week, 3 months. Underneath here, we've got just desde on its own, and that means since a point in time. Okay, so desde hace with a period of time, desde on its own with a point in time. So desde ayer, desde la semana pasada, desde anoche, and if you remembered what your time indicators are, you've got since yesterday, since last week, since last night. Okay, so very similar, desde hace and desde, but they do mean quite different things, so you need to make sure you're using them correctly. Okay, so that's one bit of grammar. Moving on. Something else you need to be aware of when talking about illnesses. Tener and estar. Excuse me. You saw this in year 9 when you talked about things like I'm ill, I'm tired, I'm cold, I'm hot, and so on. Some of these in Spanish use tener, some use estar. So I'm going to put these up and I want you to translate them, please. If the thing works, here we go. Okay, so I suggest you take about 5 minutes, please, to write down all of these in English. You'll notice they're mixed up. Some are tengo, some are estoy. But you need to think about what they are in English. Okay, so I'm guessing about 5, maybe 7 minutes has passed on, and you've done this now. So you should have written down, tengo calor, I'm hot. No tengo hambre, I'm not hungry. Now, these are the ones that in English, we say I am, and then have an adjective. I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I'm tired. In Spanish, these ones use tener, I have, and the words like calor and hambre are nouns. So literally, you're saying I have heat, I have hunger. Tengo tos is I've got a cough, and that is I have in English. Tengo frío, however, is I am cold, but it's tengo in Spanish. Estoy enfermo, I'm ill. Estoy mareado, I feel dizzy. Oh, I went too quickly. If you look at that mareado, the word for sea, as some of you will know, is mar. So if you're feeling dizzy, you feel seasick, and that's the word there. Mar is part of the word mareado. Remember, if you need to look these words up, you need to you have your vocab list from your Year 10 and vocabulary at the back of the home learning booklet. You can also use wordreference.com. Okay, tengo gripe, I have flu. Tengo vómitos, it's pretty evident, I feel sick. Tengo fiebre, I've got a fever, I have a temperature. Estoy cansado is I'm tired. It's an adjective, remember, so you have got, it could be cansada if it's a female. We saw those higher up as well. Tengo la pierna rota, I have a broken leg. Tengo diarrhea, that's pretty evident as well. I think it might be spelt misspelt, but I'm not quite sure how to spell it. I think I've got an O in there somewhere. And tengo una insolación is I've got sunstroke. Now again, if you look in the middle of that word, you've got sol, which is sun. So that will help give you a clue there. Okay, so moving on now. Listening. Now, the listening file is attached in Google Classroom for this. It says lesson 2 listening. So you can play this as many times as you like. Go back over it and have a look at it. The slide here has a few words at the bottom that you may need. You've got aspirinas, crema, jarabe, which is like either cough syrup or medicine, and tiritas, which are plasters. What you're listening out for is what the problem is, how they got the injury, and the suggested treatment. The first one, the whole conversation is written out with the gaps. So you just need to listen out to what words are missing and fill those in. For the second, third, fourth, and fifth, you need to listen, write down the problems, what happened, and suggested treatment. Okay, this is going to take you about 10 minutes. So I'm going to leave you to pause the video and do that, and then move on when you're ready. Okay, so you've paused, you've done the work, and this is what you found out. Problems: he's got flu, gripe, tos, a cough, feels sleepy, tiene sueño. He was swimming in very cold water. Well done if you got that. Nadar is to swim. Nade is what he said. He swam. He needs to have the medicine, the cough syrup, and lots of water. Hay que beber mucha agua. But his whole body hurts. He's hot. He's got a temperature. He's got sunstroke, and his back is sunburnt. He did that by playing volleyball on the beach without sun cream. And the suggested treatment is he drinks lots of water and puts on cream. Número 4. He's got a broken leg. He was skiing. Take some aspirins. He needs to go to the hospital straight away. Hay que ir al hospital inmediatamente. Número 5. He's cut his hand in the gym, and he needs to put a plaster on it and rest. Okay, so really well done if you got that. Count up the sort of amount of information you got. Okay, now, cortarse, to cut yourself. And I'm just going to pause the video here myself, actually. Okay, I paused the video there because this slide should have come up first. Now, I know that you've done this tense before, and it is in your verb tables, which you all have. The perfect tense is what we're looking at here in these next few slides. And it's used in English to mean I have done. It has 2 parts as in English. So I have eaten, I have drunk, and so on. The present tense is the form of the verb haber and the past participle. So here's the tense, here's the verb haber. Sorry, here we go. as, a, hemos, habéis, an. You have take whichever part of that. So I have, you have, he has, we have, you have, they have, followed by a past participle. So you would have something like I have eaten, he comido. You have eaten, has comido. I have lived, he vivido. So you can see here the AR verbs. You take the infinitive ending off, the AR, the ER, or the IR, and you add either ADO for AR verbs or IDO for ER and IR verbs. And here's some example. Now it says here there are a few, and there aren't really that many irregular past participles, but you do need to learn these because some of them you will need. Particularly things like I've said, I have said something, he dicho. I have written a letter, he escrito una carta. I've done my homework, he hecho los deberes. I broke my leg, me he roto la pierna. So this slide here you need to make notes on because you're going to be using these in the next one where you work through the next slides on your own. So the way these slides work is you have an infinitive, cortarse, to cut yourself. It's a reflexive verb. To put that into the perfect tense, I have cut myself. You have got me, which is the reflexive pronoun for I, as in me llamo, me ducho. And you've got I have cut, he cortado. Cortar is an AR verb, so you take the AR off and you add ADO. You have I have done it, A in front of it, and nothing ever comes between these two. So the me has to go in the front. Me he cortado el dedo. I have cut my finger. Now, what you now need to do is working from the slide here with the gaps, you now write it out yourself and then check it. Okay, so you can check it by going back. So there are, I'm not quite sure how many slides here. We'll have a quick look. There are a few slides here that I want you to work through on your own, please. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides that I would like you to work through. And that's the last one there. Look at the infinitive, look at what the correct version is, look at the gaps, and then write them out, and then go back in the video to check it. Okay, so I'm going to give you, that'll take you about 10 minutes, well, about 10 minutes possibly. So I'm going to leave you to do that, and then for you to start up the video again when you're ready. Okay, so I'm assuming you've done that. Here's a bit more practice on the perfect tense. I have eaten a sandwich. So pause it while you write this down, and then here are the answers. I've just realised something. I'm so sorry. I've just realised you won't be able to do that as I've asked you to do because you can't. Okay, what I'm going to do, me he cortado el dedo. Here's the gapped version. You can then go back and check your writing. The next one is torcerse, to twist or to sprain. Me he torcido el tobillo. That's the gapped version. You can go back in the video to check that you got it right when you fill in the gaps. Romperse is to break. Me he roto, because it was one of the irregular ones. Me he roto la pierna. There's the gap version. Fill it out and then go back to check it. This is going to be the same, but it's going to be a different part of the body. Me he roto el brazo. There's the gapped version. Go back and check it when you've done it. And the last one was me he quemado el dedo. I put my finger. There's the gapped version. Complete it and then go back and check it. A few more practice ones here. Pause the video, work out what these are. I'll do the first one with you. He comido un bocadillo. I have eaten a sandwich. You need to do the other 4, please. Pause the video to do them, and when you're ready, move on. Okay, so assuming you've done those, you should have ha ido al banco. He's gone to the bank. We haven't seen your book. No hemos visto tu libro. Have you bought a magazine? ¿Has comprado una revista? She has broken her leg. Se ha roto la pierna. Okay. And something to finish up with here. Have a look at these and see if you can come up with words to go in there. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. So this is a plenary, really. Go through it, work out. You need to translate and work out if the first one, for example, I've walked 10 kilometers and my something hurt. It's more than one thing, so it's likely to be feet. I'd like you to, I want this to be submitted, please. Can you complete this slide by writing out all of those 8 sentences, filling in the gaps with an appropriate word? Okay, I'm just going to allow you to pause it there and move on when you're ready. And the last thing I want to look at today on this lesson is this structure here. Once you've broken your leg, once you've eaten too many sweets, once you've walked 10 miles on your feet, then you have to do something about it, possibly. So on the left-hand side, you've got structures you've seen before. Tienes que, debes, hay que. All of those are followed by infinitives. So in Waden, tenemos que hacer los deberes. We have to do our homework. O tienes que llevar uniforme. You have to wear a uniform. So at the top things mean pretty much the same. You have to, you must, you have to. Tienes que, debes, hay que. And here are the translations. You have to drink a lot of water, rest, put on this cream, and so on. You heard some of these in the listening. So copy those down, because you're going to need them in the writing, which you're going to be doing in the next lesson. And when you're ready, move on. So pause the video, copy all of that down, and move on when you're ready. And just to sum up today, for this lesson, we're still looking at vocab parts of the body, illnesses. We've looked at doler, hace, time, how to use deber plus the infinitive. You've done reading and listening, and we will, by the end of it, set some targets for improvement. And that's the end of lesson 2. Thank you. There's quite a lot of work there. Don't panic if you didn't get it all done. You may be able to carry some forward into lesson 3. Because the lessons will still be there for you to use as and when you want to. But thank you very much for your hard work today.